Hey, how's it going? My name is jackiefishhh and welcome back to some more Total War Arena. Today we're going to be checking out a replay I got the other day playing Sulla at tier 5 with the Principes. It was a ton of fun and it was like a proper infantry on infantry engagement where both sides just clashed in an epic battle line and there was lots of abilities, and I think it would just look really cool as a replay, so we'll jump in and check that out. Also, if you guys are interested in keeping up to date with my cavalry grind, I'm getting closer and closer to the tier 10s. I say closer, I'm about 60,000 experience into getting this, so I need about another 30k to get the last chest piece for my tier 9s, and then it's just the simple grind for the 200k needed to get to tier 10s, but they are going to be amazing. They are really slow, however they're just going to pack such a punch, and I feel like they'll be much tankier, so I can actually maybe hammer and anvil much more effectively. It's just going to be the speed which really lets this unit down, but you can kind of mix and match a few units. Like this one gives speed, whereas this one takes away but gives you more armor. That's what I'm definitely looking forward to with these. Some of these abilities do give you more speed and stuff, and I can always play a mix of tier 10s and tier 9s for sure, but anyway, that's not really part of the video. What we'll do is we'll jump into the replay on Sulla and see what we can get done in the battle. Okay guys, here we go. We are now in the battle on Teutoburg Forest. This map is kind of like a love and hate relationship for me. It's a lot of fun, but a lot of the times I feel like this map is really good for camping, and the way that artillery is at the moment, it just kind of really pushes you towards there, and I feel like it also punishes players for being aggressive and trying to attack. So hopefully, with the artillery nerfs, that will hopefully revamp this map, because at the moment I kind of feel like, as I said, you get heavily punished for pushing. There's lots of good positions for missiles just to take apart attackers, which isn't too great, but with the artillery nerfs, hopefully it'll be much nicer. So I'm going to be pushing up on this left hand side. I have a Germanicus, and I actually have another Sulla as well with me, so Sulla really works well together when he's partied with another more aggressive infantry commander, such as a Germanicus, because obviously Germanicus can pop his vengeance, and then you can debuff the enemy so that your Germanicus's vengeance just goes ham and starts cutting away at the enemy. I mean, 2 Sullas isn't bad because it means we can debuff the entirety of the enemy with just one of our units, and then use our other bulk of infantry to take that out. In the center, we have a big push by a Germanicus, I believe. I actually really like these shields as well. These are obviously the Praetorian shields. And then over on our right hand flank we have a push of dogs, we have some spearmen and some falxmen as well, and back in our base we actually do have some tier 5 artillery. The range on this tier 5 artillery isn't going to be great. I think it's much better to set up over here, because at least then you can hit up to their base and be a bit more aggressive. Obviously you leave yourself vulnerable to counter artillery, but I think that's completely fine. These barbarians as well, I think, tried to throw some fire outside of the wood and actually ended up burning themselves, which might not have been the best decision, but they are going to throw their javelins in and start picking away a few of these Romans, chipping away at their HP damage. Some of these Romans have about 19 spears in their shield. I think that would be a bit too heavy to carry. The Roman player is going to set up some spikes, which is a smart move because it kind of corridors off this area of the battlefield. So I definitely think that's a good idea of deploying spikes on the go, just to kind of funnel the enemy down to certain situations. The enemy dogs are going to come flying in. Now, dogs around this tier can get beaten back pretty quickly if you play correctly. You need to make sure you throw your peeler into the dogs early on in the battle and then pop your vengeance and form the tactical column. Now, obviously, it's really easy to counter that as the dog player. You just go ahead and bring back your dogs and wait for vengeance to go and then bring out. However, vengeance will cut through these guys and it's a really effective way, but a lot of the time you don't want to waste your vengeance just on taking them out. It does look like, though, that they are going to be making this big push in the center, trying to surround these guys, and this is the smartest move. Whenever you can, you want to try and surround your enemies and take them out, because the quicker they deal with this, the quicker they can send stuff over here to the left push where me and my allied Sulla are making our move. We also have a... who's this? So we got finally a Germanicus making his way up, so we're going to be really good with him. There is an AFK player over here on the left-hand side, which was quite unfortunate for the enemy. The Numidian cavalry of Carthage are going to be getting their javelin tosses in, lowering this down. So we're just going to surround this unit and kill it. Nothing really too interesting. Just clear it out of the way so we can take on the rest. But you are going to be seeing the entire enemy force making their way back for more of a battle. So clumping up does have its disadvantages right now, so even though they've managed just to completely slaughter this guy in the center, they are leaving themselves pretty vulnerable to artillery, and I'll make sure I say this now, but this is pre-artillery nerf, as the artillery nerf is hopefully coming very soon, so some of you might be joining the game after the artillery has been nerfed. And if you haven't seen it as well, artillery is being taken down, so it only shoots 1 rock instead of 3 or 4 or 5, depending what tiers you go to, which I think will definitely help make them a bit more balanced, because at the moment they are just so ridiculous and they take a lot of the fun out of the game. Our right push is also underway right now. They're trying to get round, and obviously being slowed up by cavalry is never too great. So you can see us right here. I'm kind of being a bit carefree here. I definitely could have done this better, honestly. You know, obviously he's AFK, so it doesn't really matter. But I could have just, you know, went round the side, outflanked him, and routed them straight away. But, you know, I was like, whatever. I was feeling a bit lazy at this point, so I was just jumping in here, popping my whip constantly, so we do get that extra armor piercing. Or is it armor piercing and what? Will it tell me? Weapon penetration and melee. Melee attack is at 52%. Is that a joke? That is crazy. No way is that what whip is. I did not realise it was ever that much. That is insane. 52%. I can't see, unfortunately. It won't let me hover over. I guess I'll have to wait until I pop it again. But 52% seems like a lot. You know, that's like a vengeance at tier 5. Obviously, you don't get the extra damage. You just get the melee attack. But even still, melee attack... Correct me if I'm wrong, melee attack does how often you hit the enemy. So if you have a high melee attack, you're going to hit the enemy a lot more often. And melee damage is just how much damage you do. A bit of friendly fire coming in from our allies right there. Not too good. I guess this would be a better view for me to hold down space so you guys can see better in combat. Let me know in the comments, would you prefer it when I go cinematic mode to hold down space so you guys can see, you know, who's who? Or does it kind of kill the immersion for you? Do let me know. Maybe when it's Roman on Roman, I will do that. So we take a look over on the left-hand side. The enemy are only pushing up some cav behind our battle lines, which is going to be very effective for them. We have obviously routed this guy, and routing him is going to make him, you know, easy targets for us to kill. However, the enemy are pushing back a lot of infantry, and we are about to see one hell of a melee engagement about to approach us. They're also pushing a load of infantry around here. We do have the barbarians. These guys are outfitted at tier 5. You can choose between armor and war paint. War paint obviously giving you more speed, whereas the armor obviously gives you more defensive stats. So these barbarians are definitely out-kitted for more of a speed engagement, so looking for the flanks. We also have a Germanicus player coming around as well. And more infantry going to be slowly making its way through. So we are going to quickly try and reform right here. What, there's 9 of us here? 9 infantry and some cavalry. We are going to quickly try and reform right here. Fall back a little bit so we're in a bit more of a concise position. And then we are about to have one of the craziest melee engagements of the century right here. So I'm going to be pushing in right here, popping my whip and also doing my formation. What is it called? Formed attack, I think? I can't even remember. I want to fortifications. Oh, I literally can't even remember. It's something like that, giving me a huge bonus to my shield defense. Again, just popping in right there. The enemy are coming around thick and fast. I'm also trying to take out the infantry right here, as you know, one of the strengths of the Romans are their shield defense. So if they lose that shield defense, and they get attacked in the side or they get killed by Falksmen, they definitely do struggle and they take a lot more damage than they need to. So you always, as a Roman player, want to try and fight from the front, because that's when they are the most effective. You come in the flanks, they lose that shield defense, and they start to go down a lot quicker. So this is where you can see it's a great move right here by the Barbarian player to move his forces through this little gap and kind of start surrounding my soldiers. As well as that, we are going to be having some of the Macedonian players pushed up into the engagement right now. These Macedonians will slaughter me in phalanx if I'm not careful. And you can just see already, look at this melee engagement. It's just awesome. It's a proper horseshoe right here of units fighting one another. I believe as well we have one Sulla right now with his prescription on, which lowers the enemy melee attack by 50%, which is crazy right now. One unit is affecting this huge group of enemies and really helping us out. I do decide to go ahead and face the hoplites. I feel like killing the hoplites is much more important than killing a few of these barbarians. I could have maybe done a nice little trick here by retreating my soldiers, surrounding these guys and killing them, and then focusing down the hoplites. But obviously I didn't realize that they were disconnected at this point. This is being controlled by someone else who is also playing. Also, looking at our base, we do have a few attacks going on. Well, not our base, but over here, we have some Roman infantry doing a nice job against their spearmen right here. I really dig the Macedonian tier 5 shields. They're really nice. I like that a lot. We also have some pushes up here, which are going to be met by more of our infantry. So as you can see right now, the fighting is horrific. We're pushing hard on this left-hand side, and if we can break this flank, then maybe I can switch my unit through the forest and get around the back of their units. Again, they don't get any of their defenses, so you can just cut them down if you come in from the rear. It's always much more effective, because as you can see, they can't use that big shield to defend themselves. They're going to be much more segregated from the rest of the battle and just destroy. There's also a nice little push right here. This is like the battle against Boudica, what the Romans used. They came up in wedge formation to funnel the barbarians into their killing points. I like to think that's exactly what we're doing right now. So we managed to clear these guys off, and I'm slowly starting to break ground. However, the enemy are going to see this and push more of their soldiers around. I feel like this is more of like a traditional Total War battle rather than a heavy like ability. Fortify, that's what it's called. My god. So yeah, it does give 52 melee attack. That's crazy good. And weapon penetration as well. Obviously, you don't get the bonus against, you know, the melee damage. So you might not do as much damage. But still, that's crazy good. And luckily, though, these Falcons are going to be surrounded and cut to pieces by the Roman formation. My god, that looks beautiful right there. That looks really, really good as they just slowly march their way in. Macedonian hoplites as well, finishing off Hannibal. Hannibal is trying his best to fight forward, but he's getting surrounded, and more infantry is making its way back to our base. The cavalry, however, are harassing us, and the enemy are doing a great job here. They've kind of realized that we're all actually engaged right there. Besides this one guy making his way back, Space Wolf, our base is wide open right now. And this is a perfect opportunity for the enemy to push on. I mean, the balance power is still really even, so it's not to say they're going to lose up here. However, they could definitely use the cheeky base cap, because we have nothing back right now, and they can use that to their advantage as the melee once again continues to fight on harder. We'll go up to normal speed now as well. And just watch this melee engagement. I mean, it's just crazy. This is what I kind of live for in Arena. I don't play too much melee infantry, but when I do, I just want a brawl. I want us to just all smash into each other and just have a proper battle. Because it's awesome. It's so much fun just watching these sides. Instead of all these, you know, cheeky micro, it just comes down to two sides smashing into one another. Which, again, I think will be much more enjoyable when the new patch comes as well. Because they're adding in this thing called STRIX, which basically gives you, like, ability every, like, I don't know, 10 seconds to just do another additional attack. So like your unit will do more of a like kind of like pike thrust, I guess, or not pike thrust, spear thrust for the hoplites, but just for every melee unit. So you will have like the Romans slashing it or stabbing every 10 seconds. The Carthaginians will be slashing. Don't know what the barbarians do, but obviously they'll have their own way. So we have managed to break this left-hand side, which is going to be really useful for us. We're going to continue to put the pressure on, and I've sent around some of my soldiers right now to attack the Romans from the back. Their unit has turned around, but still, you know, they're being attacked from two different directions right now, which is going to really, really take them down and help us out in this fight. You know, the quicker we sandwich them, the better. We're also going to be fighting over here. Hopefully we can break Vercingetorix, which is not an easy task. Obviously, with his iron discipline, he can do a lot of damage. But we are going to see Vercingetorix pull down, and that's going to give me a great advantage right now. I'm immediately going to follow up on this and push around and just surround these guys. Try and get them taken care of. You can see I've hit this unit right here because it's the healthiest, and we just routed it, and we're going to kill it. The Vercingetorix does run away, but we're going to be able to kill the rest of the infantry, which is going to be great news for us. The enemy, however, have managed to charge off our artillery, and now is making its way over to our base. I believe they're also going to have support by cavalry very soon. So we need to quickly make this push count. We need to make sure we get in the base. You can see I immediately am starting to move back some infantry as well. I don't want to let the enemy cap for, you know, I don't want to let them cap. And if Space Wolves can just delay them, I can also go back, and I do have some javelin tosses, you know, some peeler left with my Romans as well. Instead of going this way around as well, I want to try and maybe go through the road. I don't want to use any of the forest because the forest does slow you down. So we're going to be making our push on right here. I'm going to be engaged once again by another Roman player. So many Romans in this battle. They really, really are. So we're going to be fighting one another. However, my teammate are going to be catching up very soon. The Falconsmen charging in with Arminius. Scourge of Rome indeed. And more of the legionaries are also turning up. And we are going to be successful there to rape them. However, the base cap is really, really going up right now. Space Wolf is here, so ideally all he needs to do is just go after these guys. We also have artillery, so if Space Wolf can just get these guys, it would have been so useful in that wrong position, because his dogs weren't even there as well. So he could have killed a lot of these dog handlers, and now they're actually currently capping which is really unfortunate for us. Artillery can't get them either. You know, the demon guy is doing a great job there, and I think Space Wolf got a bit confused by the cavalry. However, he can still go back there and help us out. The fight over here, you know, the enemy are doing a great job of just holding us up right now. They're not letting us pass and getting into their base. They also have the slingers. However, the slingers aren't too bad. You know, fortify and stuff will give us a good shield defense, and we can always just chase off their infantry. The base capture is, though, going down, and unfortunately, we're not going to win this battle. The enemy are going to capture our space. Space Wolf just, you know, had an unfortunate game right there. I'm sure he learned a thing or two. He blooded up his units and tried to charge there, which slowed him up. And then also, because he kept his units together, he is getting torn apart by dogs. However, I feel like if he was just spam clicking it, like he stops here, and I think if he was spam clicking it, he could have got an attack off on this unit, which was really unfortunate. I think if he was just going at it, he could have decapped that and got that in. It was just unfortunate that he messed up his charge as well, because every second there would have counted. It really, really would have. So, yeah, you know, I'm not going to blame him, obviously. It's a 10v10. We could have done a lot more as well to push their base and stuff. So, obviously not, you know, calling him out or anything. It was just a very, very fun game, and it was an unfortunate ending, really. You know, sometimes games like that happen, and you learn from them. You realize what you have to do next time to maybe get that decap, and I'm sure next time he will do a better job. So GG to everyone who played that game. That was just so much fun, and I felt like I had to do a replay on it because it was just such a big melee scrap, and it was a lot of fun indeed. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to drop a like and a comment down below if you did. Let me know what you want to see next on the channel. I'm thinking of maybe doing the tier 5 Greek premium unit and taking them out. They're kind of like the opposite to the Summation Lancers, the Roman tier 5 premium cavalry unit, whereas they're a bit more tanky and are not as good on the charge. It's kind of like they've switched roles, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one, and fish out.